On this program, mandates and tyranny. What you're about to hear is not an indictment of COVID-19 vaccines. I am fully vaccinated. I chose to be vaccinated. But when I made that choice, no one was holding a gun to my head. Things are different now. Today, refusing the vaccine can end the career you worked for all your life. It can mean blacklisting and scorn. It can mean the end of your ability to feed your family. Back when I chose to be vaccinated, it was a private medical decision. But that was months ago. Since then, the world has changed. My quarrel is not with vaccines, but with tyranny. Imagine a car wreck. Someone is injured but conscious. Someone else calls 911. Paramedics arrive. Is the car accident victim required to accept medical treatment? No. Even if paramedics believe that without treatment she will die, the choice remains hers as long as she is capable of making and communicating that choice. Why? Because that's her body. It does not belong to the CDC, the FDA, or to President Biden. It belongs to her. And because it belongs to her, so does the choice regarding her medical treatments. The choice to receive a vaccine into her body is personal. It is intimate. That choice belongs to her alone. It does not belong to the government.
This is not about freedom or personal choice.
If this is not about freedom, if this is not about choice, then what is? This is the federal government intruding on the autonomy every citizen holds over his or her own body. Of course, we have to think of the common good, but let's remember that the common good argument can lead anywhere. In China, it led to forced abortions and re-education camps. In many countries, it leads to child labor and sweatshops. In the United States, it led to internment camps for Japanese Americans during World War II. It is important to keep in mind the common good, but also remember that that argument has shown the potential to destroy constitutional rights. Sadly, President Biden is not much help here. He has shown a unique disdain for rights expressed in the Constitution.
But no amendment to the Constitution is absolute.
To hear a president talk like that is kind of unsettling. Does he think there are times when it's okay for the government to use cruel and unusual punishment?
No amendment to the Constitution is absolute.
Does he think there are circumstances when U.S. citizens should be denied the right to vote because of the color of their skin? That was outlawed by the 15th Amendment.
No amendment to the Constitution is absolute.
Is women's suffrage optional? The 19th Amendment gives women the right to vote in U.S. elections. Is that right absolute, or can the president rescind it?
But no amendment to the Constitution is absolute.
Slavery, outlawed by the 13th Amendment. But wait.
No amendment to the Constitution is absolute.
Amendments to the Constitution are part of the Constitution. The First Amendment is as much a part of the Constitution as Article 2, the part that sets up the office of president. If we can't trust the amendments, then how can we trust the rest of the Constitution? If the Constitution cannot be counted on to mean what it says, can a president ignore Supreme Court rulings? Can he abolish Congress? I'm using extreme examples, not because we are already there, but because we don't want to go there. People often lament that Hitler and the Nazis are so often invoked in arguments, but there's a good reason for that. Germany in 1932 was a sophisticated, modern nation. And with stunning speed, it succumbed to its prejudices and fell to terrible lows. What happened to Germany 90 years ago is a warning. When someone raises that warning, it does not mean that they think modern law is as bad as the Holocaust. No, they are saying beware. This argument has been used before, and look where it led. Hitler's definition of the common good led to the extermination of 6 million Jews. Let's say that the common good of vaccines is enough to mandate them. I don't believe that, but let's say it's true. If we are going to mandate vaccines, shouldn't we do it by the book? When a rule breaks new ground by demolishing old freedoms, shouldn't we enact that rule only after scrupulously following the Constitution? In 1909, when the federal government imposed a permanent income tax on its citizens, it passed the 16th Amendment in order to make the new tax legal. But when the current administration set forth its vaccine mandate, imposing this medical procedure on its citizens, no legislature had voted on it. In fact, this massive new invasion of human rights was decided on by one man, President Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. Someone might say that it was really OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. But OSHA is part of the executive branch of government. And the executive branch is, by its very nature, a dictatorship. One man rules. That's not a bad thing. It's the way a presidential administration must work. And it is also a good reason why presidents should leave legislating to the legislature. The legislative branch of government, Congress, creates laws. The executive branch of government, the president and all those in the president's administration, execute those laws. They execute the laws Congress passed. The judicial branch evaluates laws in the light of the Constitution. These checks and balances are essential to our system of government. The president must not usurp the role of Congress by making laws. He can veto a law, but Congress can also override his veto. The point is, he is not supposed to be the source of law. The vaccine mandate was not voted on by any legislative body. It was the edict of one man, President Biden. The Constitution does allow a president to issue executive orders, but executive orders are not supposed to make new laws or circumvent old ones that the president doesn't happen to like. Executive orders are meant to be used by the president to help him or her in the job of executing laws that have been passed by Congress. Making law is never the job of the president or of the judiciary. According to several polls, most Americans favor vaccine mandates. Maybe that includes you. But do you really believe something as important as a fundamental new restriction on human rights should be the choice of one man? Yes, I know the president has advisors, but his advisors do not make the choices. In a presidential administration, one man chooses. President Biden's vaccine mandate is a sweeping new law that reaches beyond people's businesses, organizations, churches, and even their homes. It reaches into the physical bodies of Americans. It represents a fundamental change in how we see our sovereignty over our own bodies. It must not be a decision for unelected OSHA bureaucrats, no matter how well-intentioned. And in fact, the vaccine mandate was not their decision. It was a decision made by the president. Unlike the folks at OSHA, he was elected. But he was elected to be our president, not our dictator. Bible prophecy tells us about a future technology that will be forced on the world during the time near the end of the age. The Bible describes authorities using money and the ability to make a living as the lever by which they will force this technology into people's bodies, much like vaccine mandates today. Now, don't worry. COVID vaccines are not the mark of the beast, but vaccine mandates are a powerful foreshadowing of things to come. Thanks for watching. It will help us for you to like and follow Prophecy News Update on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. God willing, I'll see you soon.